right, we'll just get ready to start. Tonight, we're starting a few sessions on work legally and ethically. This is one of the core modules, whatever certificate for whatever you're studying at TAFE in Australia, Australia want you to look at this. It's pretty important. So 3 weeks on this. It's it's a core module, so it's whatever. If you know anybody else that's studying, they might have even done this module. I'm not sure whether they might have had the same role plays, but you never know. So CHCLEG001, it's a legal module. It's not a mental health one. It's not a community services one. It's not an AOD one. It's a core one. So work legally and ethically. It's just a start. I'll just do the acknowledgement of country. In the spirit of reconciliation, Hayder Institute of Education acknowledges the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea, and community. We recognise Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people as the first inhabitants of this nation and the traditional custodians of the land on which we work, live, and study. We express our gratitude for the sharing of this land, our sorrow for the personal, spiritual, and cultural costs of that sharing, and hope that we may move forward together in harmony and in the spirit of healing. We pay our respect to all First Nation people and acknowledge elders past, present, and emerging. And just before we kick off, just before John, I'll get to you in a sec. I'll just do the housekeeping, just the general expectations, the way we run the class every week. Obviously, cameras on. If you're here, you might as well put your camera on, same as everybody else. If I don't know who you are and somebody's got into the room and they're just there without a name and a camera off, then we'll probably ask them to leave because we don't know who they are and it seems a bit weird. Somebody just hanging there. So cameras on, microphones off, obviously animals and children in the background or doors slamming, things like that they come over the microphone very easily. So, speakers going through the microphone and feedback and things like that can be difficult. So, class break times, obviously with a few hours of study on an evening, 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock, it's important to have breaks just to get some water, de-stress, take some steps and whatever you need to do. With class participation, just use the reactions icon underneath the video screen on Zoom and stick your hand up there. That's ideal because respectful relationships are important. Be mindful and kind with your words and respect the opinion of others. We're all learners and in this together. We're all learning something. It's important to learn something every day. No smoking, vaping, or drinking alcohol on camera. It's just like a TAFE class or a work meeting. We wouldn't be doing it there, so we won't do it here. Obviously, if somebody is somebody's wanting to give up something and they come into class and see somebody drinking or smoking, it's not going to be helpful for them. So we're not going to trigger them. The class content can be triggering enough without somebody triggering somebody like that. So look after yourself, yes, but make sure we're looking after each other. And finally, be kind to yourself. With a few hours of study, a few hours of work, and a few hours of life and helping people or doing things every week, you're going to be exhausted. So make sure you're putting time into yourself. Knowing how you put back into yourself is helpful for re-energizing yourself. So just got a little announcement, first of all. John, go for it.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Dwayne. Hi, everyone. Yeah, look, Lisa B, who I don't think is on tonight, and myself are trying to get a couple of people for one of, I guess, the slightly more challenging role plays. Um, and basically, it's for CHCPRP001, which is about networks and collaborative partnerships. And we need two more people to do the role play. We have tried through Discord to no avail. But if a couple of you could perhaps direct message or DM me your email address, it'd be great to have you on board. And obviously, Lisa and I stand ready. She's a diploma student to help you guys in any of your role plays as well, including this one. So it's CHCPRP001. I think we did it a couple of months ago, Dwayne. Um, and it's about collaborative networks and partnerships. And we're looking for two more people to do the role play. And sorry for not doing this on Discord, but pretty much you guys who join us just have to read out your parts. Uh, so yeah, if you could just DM me at any time during the lecture. So Nikita, yeah, just if you could just direct message me your email address and sorry, it's A Benuri. Sorry, I don't know your name.
Yeah,
John,
I'm okay reading a part. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Sorry, what was your name?
but Abdelkrim.
Oh, Abdul, would you mind just direct messaging me your it doesn't matter actually if you just message me back your email address. I'm sure we're all friends here. So either
Okay.
direct
John,
message me. Yep. Sorry, Dwayne, yep.
can I just check? I'm sharing my screen. I'm trying to find the right one. We've got two role plays for that module.
Yeah,
Um,
it's the
let's
task for part B.
ah,
So
Task
in the
Force.
first role play, you only needed one other person, but in this one, you need three other people. And yeah, it's yeah, that's the one with that, and the client is Lin Lu, who's a school teenage schoolgirl who's been thrown out of school because of anger problems. If I don't know if that brushes anyone's memory up, but that thanks for the opportunity to do this, Dwayne. I really appreciate it because I know it's not the normal forum to do this, but
So
we
we
did
got to
try.
get them done. We've got to get
Yeah,
them done whatever way we can.
and we all have to do this, I think. And I think a lot of people may have not done this one yet. So, uh, yeah, look, so I'll leave you. I've actually deferred at the moment because I've fallen so far behind that I've got to catch up. And I don't want my lectures to get too far out of sync with my assessments. Um, so yeah, it'd be great if I could get this done and hopefully get off deferral soon and join you guys again.
No problem.
Okay.
Um,
So I'm otherwise not in this lecture. So, but I'll just put my video off, and if people want to, a couple of people want to email me, that'd be great.
yeah, so everybody's got to do it in this module. Some people might have done it already, obviously. So obviously you're the caseworker, but it's working. What was it saying? It's working. Develop and
Oh,
maintain networks and collaborative
and collaborative
partnerships, which
partnerships, yeah.
for the role play,
So
you've got to pretend that you're working with Ivana Kratz from one other agency and Mary McKean from another agency,
yeah,
and trying to work
correct.
together with a couple of agencies to get Lynn Lee some helpful support.
Yeah, that's correct. And the third role in this one, if you just scroll down a bit, Dwayne is one of the leaders from the Vietnamese community. I mean, obviously, we don't care what gender or background people have. Anyone can play any role. And the person being assessed is someone who works for First Access called Tory, which is the fictitious support agency.
All right, so yeah, if If you're wanting to do it, then contact me. That's the easiest thing, and I'll
Yeah.
it up because I don't quite happy to make sure that it gets done in class if we need it to, or if class is going to be a bit difficult, then we can get it done outside of class. Just just get it done because you need to do it, everybody. That's the
Yeah.
most important thing. Right. Thanks,
Great.
John.
Thanks. I'll stay on, but I'll be in the background. Thank you.
No problem. So just to add, this is the module we're doing, CHCLEG001, work legally and ethically. We're on a bit of a run with big modules, meaning we haven't got any 1 or 2 week modules. It's like 3 and 4 week modules. So we've got heaps of time to get role plays done in class on an evening. It's like loads of time. I don't like it when a module is a week long and we've got like 2 or 3 role plays to do and look at a quiz and projects, things like that. So we completely the opposite. Where some of the modules are 4 weeks, and that's heaps of time. So just also obviously the same thing every week. Because this is a new module, there might be new people here wondering about a role play. Don't stress about a role play if you're new. That's not nobody's expecting you to do a role play immediately. Just try and brush up on your knowledge, try and get focused on knowing how to use Zoom and how to use Accelerate. They're the most important things. If anybody, John Dilpreet's on the chat wanting to offer services, jump into the role play. Also, if anybody needs anything, then that's my calendar to click on to book something. Monday morning is pretty straightforward. Just jump on there and book it. Not this Monday because it's public holiday, Easter Monday, but Tuesday will be available. So if anybody needs anything Tuesday morning, so yeah, the module that we're doing tonight for the next 3 weeks, this week and 2 more. This unit describes the skills and knowledge required to identify and work within the legal and ethical frameworks that apply to an individual job role. This unit applies to community services and health workers who play a proactive role in doing any kind of TAFE course. It's for anybody that is wanting to go into any job sector. If you were doing a cert for warehouse operations, I don't know whether there is one, or different legal issues that are they're going to be concerned with that job, with things that you'll hear heaps about. Obviously, it's going to be like privacy, confidentiality. It's going to be informed consent, which is very similar, and human rights. If you were working in finance somewhere, or even sales, if you were doing something like that, a lot of the legalities could be about financial issues and potential legal and ethical issues that are going to come up in finance area. But we don't have that issue. We've got a completely different one. If you were looking at some sort of manufacturing or construction, probably the main issue there might be work health and safety. We do have work health and safety come up, but it's not as important because we're not dealing with massive physical safety issues. And the work health and safety that we're looking at is a lot to do with mental health for us and the client. So that type of thing, we're different. Burani,
Yes, Dwayne. I'm sorry. I wanted to just talk after John finished because I prepared for. I was talking to Jane and she's not here tonight. I don't know why. She was supposed to be here. Sam and Madison as well offered to assist. I wanted to do my the role play for the last unit.
okay. If John is John still here?
John is gone in the
All
background.
right, all right.
No, I'm still
I think
here. Yep,
all right.
I'm just getting
Just
back to you.
private
Yep.
message John. Private message John on the chat, and then you can arrange that while you're here, I guess. And then
Yeah.
if John's gone, once John leaves, then just send me a message if you still need him. So
Okay. Thank you.
just do it privately on the chat to each other.
Thank you.
Glenn, we're on CHCLEG001. The big bad work legally and ethically. So it's geared towards community services, though the unit is for everybody in pretty much any industry in Australia. This is not the role play. This is the learning guide, and a bit about first access there. If you don't know about first access is the pretend that you have to pretend while you're so it's not a real one, and first access, they do all of these things, a bit like salvos or Anglicare. So first access details, and this is our 3 weeks of working legally and ethically. So working with legal requirements, working ethically, and workplace improvements. Even ethically, we've got to be working safely. If we're working legally, then we are working in the boundaries of work health and safety and working legally. So that's the learner guide. Can I just quickly ask, is the module open? Can anybody get to the module? Yeah, thanks, Coco. I don't know what's wrong with my voice tonight. It doesn't seem to be getting to you in the right way I wanted to, but hopefully we'll get through. Says I've got plenty of internet bandwidth. So that's the learning guide. If you're not sure where the learning guide is, it's down near resources, right at the bottom of the page, usually, I think somebody said. Just to be ready. Guys. So got the assessments to look at later, but I just wanted to jump into a few of the slides to make sure you know what you're doing. Things about NDIS, privacy, confidentiality, and disclosure, and informed consent. This is the legality stuff, and mainly we've got to look at specific to the work role, the legal framework for us in the community service. Cool. Clients, there's always a question. So many different modules about rights and responsibilities. Sometimes it asks responsibilities of four. Sometimes in your mind when it's asking about rights and responsibilities, the staff, us, the employers, the organization that we work for, and the client that we're working with all have a right and a responsibility in all of that. I'll right now there's not a lot I can do until I restart my internet. I'll restart my internet in 10, 15 minutes. I'll go through the slides. So we've got is the process of making or enacting laws in Australia. 2, industry standards. Legislation, that's the government has made that. All right, Mick, cheers. I'll do that. See if it doesn't help or it helps. So the government gives us the legislation. The government makes the law and it gets passed on down to us. Then the industry standard, the community by the industrial, like AOD, like NDIS, all the different industry sectors in the areas that we're working in. So they have to implement the law that the government set in. So the government passes it onto the industry standard. Then there's in one industry industry maybe agencies for example, and they're all going to have each agency that we might work for, whether we work for Salvos in AOD, we might work for Who's in AOD, we might work for Lifeline for AOD procedures. They are then brought in and guide us in our role. Okay, just in case you can still hear me, just do some, have a, you're just researching legislation that affects AOD sector in your state of territory. Doesn't matter where else um, you are, what. All right. Hopefully this is better. Whoop. All right. Can anybody hear me any better right now? Are we doing good? Are we am I making any more sense at all? Um,
spoon on you for that, mate. When you get the strainer out.
So I suppose we can talk to ourselves, eh?
Yeah, who wants to run the lesson?
You do
Strain
it. You do it, mate. Go on.
it.
You can do it.
Are the slides? Does anyone know? Does he run off? The slides aren't available on the portal, is it? They're different. Is that right?
You want to look at the slides, do you? You want me to share my screen?
They should be there. I heard that the video, the pre-recording should have gone out by now.
Yeah, I got a pre-recording half an hour ago. It got emailed to me half an hour ago.
Okay. So
Nah. Ralph. Come on.
all about no. You will be expected to know about the legislation that does affect you. So if any legislation is going to affect you if you're in that state of territory. Sorry, everybody. Well, if you can hear a bit of this, I didn't realize how bad the storm was above me. It's just really, really intense cloud. So I'll just skip through. I'll scribble notes. Um, so sources of legal and information for federal. So federal. Federal obviously affects all of us wherever we are, whichever state or territory. Whoops. So we've got the Fair Work Commission. Obviously, that's going to affect us. It's good that Fair Work Commission is going to look after us, meaning that wherever we're going to work, it's a So obviously Fair Work, definitely. 2000 yes, it'll be on assessment, but yes, you can Google in the assessment. Yes, you'll be able to find that as long as you can remember that vaguely. National employment standards, there are 10 national employment standards. So I'll just skip that. Fair Work Act, you don't need this. It's fine. If you want to look at the video, watch it afterwards. You'll get a link in the recording that went out. So privacy, confidentiality, and disclosure. Very important. This one definitely important for us. So we've got privacy and confidentiality there. We've got privacy and confidentiality covering health information, personal information. There is justified disclosure there. We have to build client confidence. We're not, we're not going to get client confidence if we are not focused on privacy and confidentiality. So privacy law, personal information, health information, mandatory reporting there, and breach of duty of confidence. Like I say, if the client can't trust us, then there's not going to be a healthy, positive support relationship for them. They're not going to get any help. So state and territory privacy and health record privacy. So we've got ACT. Take note of anything that affects you on here in your state or territory. New South Wales Information and Privacy Commission, Office of the Information Commissioner, Queensland Office of the Information Commissioner, South Australian Privacy Committee, Tasmanian Ombudsman, Office of the Victorian Information Commissioner, and Office of the Information Commissioner in Western Australia. With the National Privacy Principles, it governs the collection of information. Let me scribble this because it's important. Access and security, who can access security protocols. Use and disclosure. Protection of unique identifiers, so like Centrelink number. And that's the reality of life. Nothing's going to get hacked if it's stored on in a filing cabinet, in a ring binder, in a manila envelope, in a locked room, which is obviously the confidentiality policy. Nothing's going to get hacked in there, but more often than not, we're not working in there. We've got things stored on our laptop. Client files are stored digitally now, most often. A lot of services don't want to store anything hard copy anymore because of the storage that it takes up. So the data quality we've got to be looking at. We're not going to take information that we don't need. If a client is coming to us as a free service and they're not paying for anything, we don't need to know their job or how much money they earn or what their bank account details. There's no need for us to collect that information. So if we're not going to collect the information here, it's not going to get hacked, and we're not going to be liable for accidentally passing information on. So transport of data flows, different laws mean that certain things cannot be passed on. Obviously, we've got to have openness and transparency, but even you can't win. In community services, we can never ever win. So I'll write it on here just in case you can't hear. And that's the reality. Sometimes people die because data has been shared. Other times people die because data hasn't been shared. So we just have to do what our policy says in our agency that we work for. Okay, good video. Um, can you hear me, Glenn? Yeah. So you'll hear it in the news, in the media. The media will tell us every time two agencies haven't communicated and a client has been killed or a client's committed suicide because two agencies won't share information. And because of the lack of information, like a child dies, the child was at risk, maybe, or somebody was at risk, and somebody would not somebody refused to share information with another agency. So people were obviously protecting the information and somebody died. When somebody does share information at the wrong time, so somebody can still die. Somebody's passed on information, they've shared information, it was confidential, and somebody commits suicide because they didn't want the information shared. So we've got to be careful, but we've got to make sure that we're following our policy and procedure. 2-minute video. Okay. So I've just put a quote in there. It's kind of obvious, self-explanatory. It's not good enough. Sorry, I put no good enough. It's not good enough to just say, hi, this is the informed consent. I'm not allowed to do or say anything with you until you sign this form. She's saying it's not good enough to just say that. We have to explain it. We have to give them a description. We have to ensure they know what it means. If it's somebody that is like working in youth work, a young person might not know what it means. Aged care services, somebody might not know what it means. NDIS might not know what it means. So it needs explaining. All right, let's carry on. We'll move on. So, talking about freedom of information, certain information can be accessed by anybody, and they just have to make a request to the government. So that can often be done for public services. Come on. A lot of videos. All right. So the National Standards for Disability Services. So NDIS. The 6 standards, if you're working with obviously the rights are important. Participation and inclusions. Let's pretty straightforward there. Don't need to do this. All good. So, if we breach a client's confidentiality, which is mentioned in one of the assessments, one of the role plays, somebody breaching a client confidentiality, legal action, at the very least, this could happen, a dismissal. But then easily it can work all the way up, fines, legal action, just for opening our mouth too much, for reporting things that shouldn't be reported. Disability organisations. So we've got the National Disability Services, the peak body, People with Disability Australia, First People's Disability Network Australia, National Ethnic Disability Alliance, Women with Disabilities Australia, and Children and Young People with Disabilities Australia. Duty of care is important. Duty of care is the legal or moral responsibility to protect the safety and well-being of others, which includes taking all reasonable steps not to cause foreseeable harm to another person or their property. Duty of care is reasonable care, may depend on the worker's experience, the worker's training, the worker's qualifications, the age and capacity of the person to whom the worker owes a duty of care. Now, so reasonable means if most people in the same situation would do the same thing. So if, hoping you can still hear me. Oh, well, I can see Glenn's cat moving, so I've got some kind of internet. So basically, if I'm a police officer and I taser a 93-year-old woman with a knife, if I do that, if most police officers in the same situation would have done the same thing in court, if it goes to court and it's reported that, yeah, most people would have done that because that person was threatening, they had a knife, then that's reasonable duty of care. And it goes all the way through the organization. If care workers in a care home